What's up, YouTube? This is a review by Grunt1171 on the internals of the JG M4 2010 version. I know a lot of people have been wondering whether it's, LiPo ready or not, and I guess after this review you can make your own assessments, because to tell the truth, I'm really not sure exactly what constitutes LiPo ready. Now, I guess I can start with the cylinder itself. It's just a regular silver cylinder with a port right there, probably for an M4 length barrel, I would hope. Cylinder head is pretty normal. Got your O-ring right there. Nothing much, just a plastic cylinder head. Air nozzles, plastic. Now the piston itself, it's got full metal teeth on it, which have just very little wear, especially on that last tooth right there. But that's to be expected. It's got your O-ring, which is it's not very tight. I kind of expanded it, and it's tight now. You got your ported cylinder head, and interestingly enough, can't really tell, but there are ball bearings inside of the piston head, so that is an extra nice feature, which I did not expect from JG. Also, you have your bushings. I think they're 7mm. I could be wrong, but I think they are, and they are ball bearing bushings, which is actually also a very nice little add-on. Now, the wires that you see coming out of my gearbox are not the wires that are stock. Actually, the stock wires are these low resistance wires, and they came with, of course, as some people may already know, as some people may already know, a little MOSFET, which is here, and it uses some kind of a car fuse. So I've had some, I think I burned out my MOSFET, and I burned out the trigger, so I did have to replace the wiring, but I don't really have a problem with that. What else is new? The spring guide is metal. I don't have it here. I have it in another gearbox right now, but the spring guide is a metal spring guide. There's no ball bearings to it, but it is metal. The sector gear. Here's a sector gear. It's alright. It's got a different kind of catch for the tappet plate. It actually fits the tappet plate a lot better than just the pin, so that's a nice little touch. Here's my spur gear. Pretty normal. You do have to keep a bushing on here, or else it does rub against the bottom of the gearbox pretty bad. And of course, my bevel gear. It's actually got more places than the average gear for the anti-reversal latch to catch on, but I guess that's a good thing. Doesn't show any signs of wear, and it's got this cap in it that keeps coming out, but it does have ball bearings inside, which is another nice added feature. Got my anti-reversal latch, pretty stock. Trigger, everything's pretty normal with the gearbox itself. It did come with got a lot of disgusting Chinese grease, but I washed it all off. The selector plate is, as well as the trigger assembly, is that weird yellowish plastic, like right there, but oh well. Spring, I really am not sure what kind of spring this is. They say it's an M120, but with the chronograph, I was pushing, it was kind of hard to be pushing 300. I'm not sure if that was an air seal problem or if it has to do with the spring, but I'll look into that. I'm really not sure yet. Here's one of your bushings. Also, the motor, it says super high power on it. So, yes, it is super high powered. Really, I don't know what that means. I'm not sure if it's high torque or high speed, but it's a little prettier than your stock motor. You got blue on it. And, of course, the battery that came with my gun is actually a 9.6, which surprised me, because you don't usually get your 8.4 volt. It's a mini type, 1100 mAh, 1100 milliamps, but it's okay, it works. So, I think I showed you this. The wires that came with it are the silver core low resistance wires, and that's actually a really nice touch. So, overall, looking at, I guess the only thing you'd really want to replace to make this gearbox LiPo ready is your spring guide. Make sure you get a bearing spring guide for that. But other than that, it looks like this gearbox is good to go for a LiPoly battery. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of rate of fire I can get out of it and how long it's going to last. So thanks for watching. This is the internals of the Jingong M4A1 full metal rifle. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and feel free to ask any questions you might have. I'd have no problem answering your questions. And if you want to know if I recommend this gun, yes, I do. It's cheap and it's got really nice internals for the price. You don't get any crappy plastic bushings, plastic spring guide. Everything is a lot better than what Jin Gong used to pull out. So it'll be interesting to see what they can pull out in the future, and I hope to see great, well reinforced gearboxes like this in guns to come.